Give me a one-way ticket to anywhere and a glazed donut. To go.
All aboard! Hey, Deke, how are you doing?
I'm good, buddy. You?
I'm good. I haven't seen you on a Saturday since Andy Curran.
Yeah, it's been a while, for sure.
And I see you're rocking the Expos hat.
Yes, sir.
Why would that be? Is there a reason for that today?
I don't know, sir. There might be a connection.
The connection could be the city of Montreal.
Indeed.
From where our special guest today, Polychuck, hails from.
Yep.
And I've been listening to this guy a lot the last couple of days. He can play.
He can play all right. I mean, he's got a wide variety of shapes of the sonic sphere. You know, you can't really peg him down to one certain thing, right? So
No.
thank you, Mrs. But yeah, so I mean, he's got a wide scope. I mean, he's got a lot of, I think I said in my review, he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve as far as composing songs, and we'll get into that with him for sure.
Yeah,
He's a real cool guy. So
one thing that I was just playing the track Breaking Me Down, and he's got a wicked solo at the end, but he totally plays for the song. Like he can shred, but he doesn't shred for the sake of shredding.
No.
And
and that's the cool thing. I mean, he keeps them short and sweet.
Yes.
You know, that's what I like, because when
short, sweet, and effective,
you start going like over and over and over, you lose me. But as a listener, he knows what he's doing, and he keeps it short and sweet. So that's probably, I'm not a guitar player, so for me as a listener, that's how I like it. Short.
No,
and
you're
sweet.
a bassist, as far as I remember.
No, dude. I can master the open A string. You can ask T-Bone.
Well, there is live footage out there, and maybe one day I will play it on the show. But I see our special guest Polychuck is here.
Cool.
Maybe just give me a thumbs up if you are ready to rock. He's ready to rock. All right. Well, I would like to welcome to the show. Well, why don't we just play this?
The LeBrain Train is proud to present Polychuck.
Hey! Welcome to the show.
Oh man, nice intro you got.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice, man. Cool.
That's done by our pal T-Bone Erickson. We call him our in-house Paul Schaefer.
Nice.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey,
well, thanks for coming on.
About 30 minutes ago, so it feels great to sit down and just have a little coffee here and be with you guys.
nice.
Same. So I'm Mike, and this is my pal Deke.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Back at you, pal.
You are fresh out of the box with a brand new EP called Shadows Exposed.
Yeah.
You ready to talk some rock?
Yeah, sure, man. Just came out last Friday. It's been a week, and it's doing great. Yeah.
I guess I'll start, Deke, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
I'll just tell you one thing. I've been watching a lot of your videos on YouTube and whatnot, and I wanted to get the EP. And I don't stream, I don't Spotify, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I spent 30 minutes trying to unlock my iTunes account, just so I could buy Shadows Exposed.
Oh man, I appreciate it. I appreciate the effort.
Well, thank you. And I will say to the viewers out there, for $4.95 and 30 minutes of my time,
Thank you.
More than worth it. So congratulations
Also
on this.
on YouTube. I think you can stream the songs on YouTube. YouTube Music. even if you don't have YouTube Music, everything that's on YouTube Music is available on YouTube as a video. It's going to show I think the album cover, and you can listen to it on YouTube. But it takes more data because it's like watching a video.
Right.
Still, it's there. Yeah.
I will say that for those of you who do use iTunes, it's worth buying because I can hear the difference in quality between a download and a stream. So, like, I was hearing more depth in the music. So, I really enjoyed it. Good with headphones.
Thank you. Thanks. I didn't know that. It's just probably they compress the file as much as they can so they can stream it without latency. I don't know how it works, but yeah, definitely. If it sounds better, then yeah, nice. I know that Tidal has an option. Tidal and Apple Music has an option where you can pay a little bit more, get full quality, as you were listening to a WAV file or just the uncompressed file.
Right. Yes.
It's probably not as good as a vinyl still, but it's better. It's better than it would be if you just stream it. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll use that comment to segue over to a question that Deke had for you.
Yeah. Well, you know the thing I can tell you right now, Polychuck, is that Mike's really wanting something bad if he's going to spend 30 minutes on iTunes, because iTunes is not his go-to. So he really did his homework on getting those tracks.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, totally been streaming it since it came out, and actually before that, with your videos on YouTube. I have to ask you, with your different styles of music, because you can't really pinpoint you down as saying like you're a metal guy, you're a hip hop guy, new metal guy. Yeah. Do you have older brothers and sisters? Did you like get into the record collection? Like how did, because you're like, I don't want to say like
all over the place,
all over the map, but it works. So
well, it's a good question. I have two older siblings, two older sisters. My sister, so the first time I ever listened to a CD or cassette was me in my sister's room, and she didn't want me to touch her stuff. She wasn't there, she wasn't around, so I was like, I'm gonna listen to music, and it was The Doors, and I was really and I was hooked right away, man. Rock and roll. My dad was a huge rock and roll fan. He was a huge prog fan. So really young, at a very young age, I was introduced to prog rock. Old 70s, 60s rock. The Beatles, obviously. So yeah, and my sister, who was 10 years older than me, she's about 40 years old now. She had a boyfriend who was really into death metal and extreme metal. Back then, I have a acoustic panel on me. Oh, sorry about that. I just moved in a week. So the acoustic panel did not screwed to the wall, but anyway.
Well, welcome home.
Yeah. She had a boyfriend who was big time into death metal and extreme metal, and I was introduced to that, and I really liked it. So here's another influence right there, and everything else that was on radio, and I was, I'm a music fan. I love music. Whatever. It's good to have genres to label to when you have like niche audiences and you want to market new music to audiences and whatever. But to me, music is music, man. When it's good, it's good. So, and it doesn't matter if it sells a lot, if it's underground, if it's good, it's good. So my music is kind of like a mashup of everything that I like. I love, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's mainstream or underground. I'm influenced by extreme metal, and I'm influenced by Post Malone, which you probably can hear in my music a little bit,
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit of, 808 beats, a little bit of pop here and there, not too much. New metal, I was always, it's my generation, 31, so the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, right when I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. Shredders, man, all the prog rock, Metallica. First time I heard Kirk Hammett, it was the first time I was introduced to more technical guitar stuff. Mm-hmm. I had been playing guitar I had been playing guitar for already 3 years, but I started at 6, so I was like 9. And I heard that, I was like, whoa, okay, that's some next level stuff. I wanted to learn that. So yeah, and so many influences, man. Yeah, so that's what my music is. It's just me creating what I would like to hear.
Right.
basically. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So with you listening to Kirk Hammett, how long was it before you got your first wah pedal?
It didn't take too long. It took about 3 years when I could kind of buy it myself. But still, I learned the pentatonic scale. I don't know if you do. Well, you're a bass player. I heard that you.
I can play a mean open A. So if you ever need a guy to play straight open A,
yeah. It's my favorite. It's my favorite key. A major is actually my favorite key. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I find it sounds great. It's not too low, not too high. A lot of guitarists will say E minor, because the guitar is the low string is in E minor. But anyway,
E minor, isn't that Spinal Tap the saddest of all keys? I believe.
Probably, I don't know, but like 99% of the songs of Metallica's music is in E minor. Megadeth, Slayer is all in E minor. But yeah, it's just the open low string on the guitar, so you can chug. It just sounds very chuggy. But obviously, as the metal genre progressed and evolved, people down-tuned their guitars.
Yes.
And now, it's now down to the 8-string friggin'. That's metal, and that's I don't even know what it is, like B or lower than that. But anyway. So Kirk Hammett, man. Really my first introduction to shredding. Yeah.
I know you've mentioned other players like Steve Vai, and I think you mentioned Paul Gilbert as well.
Yeah.
But one thing I was just saying to Deke just before you came on, one thing I really enjoyed about, in particular, Breaking Me Down. There's that wicked solo at the end.
Beating myself down.
Beating myself down. Yes. There's that wicked solo at the end, and you can tell. Okay, so this guy he can shred pretty effortlessly, but you're playing so much for the song, and it's about the melody and it's about the drama, and you're in and out real quick. And it's like what it reminded me of was Prince, because he played enough to let you know that he could really wail, but he didn't. He never overdid it. He was in and out.
Now I take that as a compliment. He's a great example of what I'm trying to accomplish. He's a very technical musician. He can play crazy stuff. It's really about the song, really about the music, and he's also like a singer and entertainer. He's not just a shredder. So yeah, great influence for me. Definitely not the same genre, but the same kind of approach. I love this approach. But yeah, beating myself down. I think there's a NASCAR race behind one of you guys.
I'm near a highway. I'm going to close the window.
Great example. And it's all about the melody, all about the notes, and I start the solo with a bend, just very slow and almost like David Gilmour, and right into the sweep, but not too much. Like, it's cool when people can do it, but when they overdo it, I mean, it was probably really cool in the 80s. I mean, I wasn't there. I was born in '89, but when Eddie, but it was probably like, whoa, shit, this guy like shreds, whatever. But now it's just like it's become more of a like, okay, like it's cool, you can shred. Now what? You know what I mean?
Right.
Just in the 80s. I mean, when like on the first song of the first album of Metallica, Hit the Lights, I think the solo lasts for about 2 minutes, which is crazy. It's cool, and it's him just shredding in E minor the whole time, and it's really cool. But you wouldn't hear that in a song, in a modern song, unless they're trying to go for that for the 80s metal sound. You know what I mean? Like, we need to know what now what, like, or try to be more go beyond just shredding, show us something new, something or whatever. So that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Well, just had a nice comment there. Chris loves your song, Beating Myself Down.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it, man.
And that's the thing. Like, continuing with the EP, like your song Exposure. I mean, talk about exposure. You're almost pushing 30,000 views on YouTube. So congrats, man. That's pretty cool. And speaking of, and I mentioned this, me and Mike talked about it the other day, is I love your solo in that song, because right when the solo cuts out, you go into some huge, massive prog rock synth.
Yes. Yeah.
That right away caught my
Yeah.
attention.
I was like, huh?
Wow. Yeah, like, there's that prog influence right there.
Oh, big time.
So
And
good,
what I love about prog music is that although it has over the years, it's become a genre. So like when you hear prog, you know that it's prog. But what I like about prog is more I like the music, obviously, but the approach. Like prog means just to progress, to go beyond what was already there. So I like just the approach of, and I like to call myself a little bit, I do alternative rock, hard rock, but on the prog side, because I push the boundaries somehow. I like to use stuff that is, that you don't see that often in rock music. So that's what I like about prog. And my biggest influences as of now, the guys that I really look up to are Wilson, Frost, all these bands, Porcupine Tree, because they're prog, but they don't do prog music just for the sake of being prog. They just they write music because they love music. So you can hear that they have influences from everywhere, but it's really about the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have sort of a two-part question for you, following up on his same song. There's some wicked record scratching going on there, and I love record scratching. I consider that like an art form akin to guitar soloing.
Yeah,
is that you? Because you play like virtually everything, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So I played everything, but every instrument that I didn't have was played on this little sampler. Yeah. So, and even some drum parts were playing on these little drum pads. Yeah, you see, like, I don't know if you've ever seen the MPC or in the hip hop world, they play the beats, they sample drum sounds and they play with their fingers. So yeah, the scratch and all the scratch, all the synth lines were all played on this little sampler here.
That little thing did all that.
Now I've bought more stuff. I have a little analog keyboard there. It's kind of like a Prophet 6, a smaller version of a Prophet. But yeah, no, on the record it was all that little thing, that little sampler. And on the song "Beating Myself Down," I have a brass section. Like it was all played like this. It was all samples, and they were all played on this little thing. So yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy what you can do now. Like, I mean, you can do a lot of cool stuff with very little, very few real instruments. But obviously, if I had the budget and if I'm gonna record more stuff, I'm gonna go for the real thing now, because there's definitely a difference, especially with drums. The drums were played, but they were not a real drum kit. They were played on an electronic drum kit.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a difference. You can hear in the room, in the room mics and everything. It feels like it's almost too like in your face. It's good. I guess it's good for metal and pop, but I kind of really like the sound of a real drummer, a real drum kit. So. It's probably what I'm gonna do if I record more music. It's definitely what I'm gonna do. A real drummer, real drums, real bass amp. My bass was plugged directly in the sound card in the computer. So I do with what I had. Yeah.
Right.
It sounds very, very good. I mean, if you didn't give us the backstory on that, I think you went in a studio and hammered out the EP.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds in my earphones. It sounds big.
Yeah, but I mean, I mixed it myself, and I really went with the modern metal sound. So my reference for the mix was "Bring Me the Horizon." I would A/B the song as I would, mix it. "Bring Me the Horizon," the last record that just came out, which is, I forget the name. Anyway, but they're doing really well, and it sounds great. It's big. It was recorded probably in the. I think it was recorded during the pandemic. So probably each musician recorded their own part at home. Yeah. But anyway, it was my reference for the mix.
So
I guess this would have been a good pandemic project for you too.
Yeah.
We're all stuck at home. You may as well make some music.
Might as well make some music. Yeah, I already had written music, and I was planning on releasing music, but it would not have. It would have been more, probably a little bit more pop, and not as with the word that I'm looking for, not as bold, or I don't know what. See what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, like I was just like, you know what? Let's just make music. I had already a couple of songs that was ready to release, and I think one or two were already out. Nailed to the X and the first version of Lights Out, which are much more, you know, poppy and conservative. But I was like, why? You know, I'm a metal guy. I'm a prog guy. Why not, man? Let's do whatever. And you know, I'm getting great results from that.
You know what, Polychuck? This is what you do. So when you officially put it out on like a physical copy, whether it be CD or vinyl, add in those different versions of Lights Out and whatnot, because you have a guy right beside me who buys all that bonus track stuff. So
yeah, if you heard all the demos, they're so like, you know, lots of auto tune. Just everything was actually made with this before. Everything. So like just awesome. The beat. It was really more on the vibe of the, you know, the typical music. Nowadays the way the music is made is like you have the beat maker that makes the beat with this sample, and that sells his beats, and then there's a rapper that just goes and buys it and raps over it. So that's, you know, that's how like so much music is made nowadays. You know, like I was watching TikTok, I was watching, you know, Instagram and TikTok, and you know, instructional videos on how to make music, and then you have that guy that says, okay guys, this is how you make a song. So you go on beats.com, you buy a cool beat, and then you write lyrics, and then you have he was serious. Like, I mean, if that works with the, you know, the scene, fine, but I wanted to go beyond that, obviously.
Well, it seems like you have sort of like a rock and roll do-it-yourself attitude, which is, you know, in rock music, they build the track from the ground up, basically. Yeah. Somebody has to create the drums track, you know?
Yeah. It's all instruments. It's not like samples. So that's the difference between the rock world and the hip hop world. In the hip hop world, so much emphasis is put on the lyrics. It's really about the lyrics, and the beats are often going to be made up of songs that already exist. It's called sampling. You hear that all the time. They use, like, you know, they've been doing that for years, since hip hop is a thing. Like, they've been doing that, you know, the DJs with the records, that they would sample things at a beat, and which is a cool creative way, you know, to create music, and they put a lot of emphasis on the lyrics. For me, it's more the rock way. I like to create the riff. It's really about the riff, you know, the melody, the solo, and whatever. And then I add a little bit of drum samples here and there. So yeah, different approach. Yeah.
Hey, it works, pal.
Yep.
I have to ask you, like, just sorry, going back to the exposure video, it's very well done, and I have to ask you, did that punching bag survive the video shoot? I mean, wow. You know, and that kind of leads to my next question. Like, you're obviously big into mixed martial arts, MMA. Now,
I was just training just 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago.
Wow.
Okay,
so I'm in the nose right here.
Oh, jeez.
Like in the war wounds. But I have to ask you, is it ever a concern with your hands? Obviously, you're a guitar player. Like, I mean, that's a pretty serious sport.
Yeah. I get that question quite a lot, but I always, you know, answer the same thing. The hands are not my biggest concern, because we're well protected. When we fight, we have huge gloves. I don't do professional yet, and I don't think I ever will. When you do professional fighting, you fight for money, and you fight, you know, in the UFC, you really have to dedicate your entire life to fighting. I don't think I'll ever do that. I fight amateur, and we have big gloves, like 14-ounce gloves or 16-ounce gloves. They're really big. We have hand wraps. So the hands are well protected. What's not as well protected is the head. Yeah. I got 2 concussions in the last year, and they were like 6 months apart. So, and that really scared the hell out of me. what it's like if you break a finger, I mean, it sucks, but it'll heal. When you mess with the head, you don't really know. So that's really scary. You know, the effects of the concussion, just being, you're fully aware, but you're not, you know, just the when you get hit, like obviously it you know, I was never knocked out, but you feel it, but it lasts for a couple of days and you feel kind of buzzed and it just feels like you're not fully, you know, in control. So, and that's really scary. Like that's something I would not want to you know, some people have that for the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you a personal anecdote. My sister's a musician. She plays bass clarinet. And incidentally, if you ever need a bass clarinet solo, you just let me know.
You know what? That could be cool. You never know, man.
She loves to collaborate, but she was in a minor fender bender only a few months ago and had a concussion, and she's still struggling to play live because it keeps coming back. So yeah, you're 100% right. It's a scary thing. Concussions are scary
thing. You never know. It just takes one hit, that one wrong hit at the wrong spot, and that can mess you up for the rest of your life. So that's really something that made me think, yeah, do I want to do this professionally? I don't know, but I really enjoy sparring, training. You know, it's become a passion. I really love the sport. I don't think I'll make a career out of it, but I love it, and I identify as a fighter because, you know, obviously. But yeah, during the video, we were sparring. We were really sparring for real. We were hitting each other.
Well, yeah.
So let me ask you a quick question here. You say you identify as a fighter, but would you say you identify as a fighter musician or a musician fighter?
No, like I identify as a fighter. I'm a musician before everything, but I can say that I'm a fighter. I'm not gonna say that I'm a like I said, I don't want to say like I'm a fitness enthusiast. Sometimes, you know, that's just the difference. I fight. I'm a fighter. Yeah, but I'm not a professional fighter. But
Gotcha.
for sure, I'm a musician. You know, before everything else.
I wanted to ask you also about your music videos because they're very striking visually. I imagine you're very hands-on with your music videos. But one thing I really like, and for whatever reason, you do a lot of stuff with like face paint and whatnot. I saw one picture where you were like half skull, and you do like a line that kind of divides your face, and it struck me as very theater, very dramatic. And I'm just kind of wondering where the visual influence is coming from. Like, are you a Kiss fan, or what's the deal?
I was gonna say Kiss, man. Kiss is really when I was a kid, you know, that was a great way. I was introduced to rock and roll with Kiss. You know, I was really into that band.
I did not expect that answer, honestly.
Yeah. No, big time. I was a huge Kiss fan, and I still am. They are really good musicians, man. They are really amazing. They have amazing songs. I don't know how many albums they have. They have a lot of albums. Yeah. A lot of albums and a lot of good songs on every album. They are really amazing musicians. A lot of people, you know, they say that, oh, it's all about the show, but no, they're actually really, really good. I saw them live 2 years ago in Montreal, 2 years ago, just before the pandemic. Man, the drummer's 70, I think 75 or something. Like he's in his like mid 70s. He plays a like 3-hour set like nonstop. I mean,
I'm sorry, I just have to correct you on one thing. Peter Criss is very old, yes, but it's Eric Singer that's performing with Kiss that you saw.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's a bit younger. I think he's in his 50s.
You should ask for a refund.
Ask for a refund. You didn't get Peter Criss.
Okay, but Paul Stanley, how old is Paul Stanley?
70 something.
70.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, right.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
The guy can jump and leap and.
Yes. Yeah. So you know that's legit. But thanks for telling me. I did not know that. Face paint is hard to tell.
You're talking to two huge Kiss heads.
Nice.
I
So
totally didn't expect you to answer that, but
yeah.
But yeah, like I love your visuals, man. So you know, kudos on making some striking videos.
It gives the performer, it gives not an identity, but it gives like an edge, something more like you become more in you embody the character more when you have. I feel like when you have a face paint or some kind of clothes that are just I don't know. It feels cool. I think Kiss they did that. They were the best at that. Alice Cooper, Bring Me the Horizon, which is a huge influence for me. He the guy from Bring Me the singer. He does face paints and he has really cool outfits. So I mean it's part of the game. It's part of rock and roll, man. I think it's yeah.
And probably a pretty good, decent starting point for you as a guitar player. I mean, you have to give Ace Frehley his due because his solos are. I'm not a guitar player, so I would never be able to play them. But to me, as a listener, they sound simple yet they're catchy. Because you could probably rhyme off 10 Ace Frehley solos right off the hop that are forever etched in my brain. I mean,
big time. The one that comes to mind right there, I remember when I was 11 years old, I learned that solo, and I still play that run that he does in Love Gun. That pentatonic run. I still do it sometimes in my solos, even when I improvise. So huge influence. Yeah, great player, man. Great sound. Gibson, Les Paul, Marshall amps, man. It's all there. What else do you want?
So, and then I remember reading your bio too. One guitar player we haven't talked about that I think you listed as an influence was Mr. Yngwie J. Malmsteen.
Oh yeah.
That guy's a shredder.
That's a guy who can.
I just wanted to know, like, what era? I mean, he's been going for like almost 40 years now. So, what era? Do you like his instrumental stuff? Did you like it when he brought in a vocalist, or you just like it all?
I think I like it all, man. I'm a fan of his playing. I'm not so much a fan of his music. Like I don't think I would listen to his music, but his style, his playing is how he transformed the so what's the right word? How innovative he was.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
He made the world of. He just brought the world of shredding a step above. So just by that, and his style, his playing, his technique is flawless. So it's more about his style than his music. But obviously, is like the kind of guy that you watch him play, and you're like, okay, like. Might as well give up, man.
I'll tell you a very funny quote. I back in the old days, before you were born, watching Much Music, they had David St. Hubbins from Spinal Tap on talking about Yngwie Malmsteen, and he said, you may as well take your guitar and turn it into a coffee table after listening to Yngwie Malmsteen.
Oh, I think I saw that interview. Yeah.
Because like, what's the point?
Why bother?
Why bother?
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, you gotta give credit to the guy, man. Oh yeah.
Another thing I remember as a youngster growing up is that Eddie Van Halen was all the rage, but then along came Yngwie, and it was like a race. It was like a race of who's the fastest,
Oh yeah. Well, it's a tough question, but they have like a very different, like their technique is so different. One uses tapping, very innovative technique, the tapping. It probably already existed. I think what's his name? The guy from Genesis,
Steve Hackett.
Steve Hackett. He said that Steve Hackett. He was saying that he was the first to use that technique in rock. But anyway, there's always going to be a debate. Like, oh, I did that first, and I did that first. But yeah, and Yngwie is all about the pick and stuff that Eddie Van Halen didn't really do. He did alternate picking, but he didn't really do sweep and the arpeggios that sounded almost like Paganini and like classic. Right. He didn't really do that. It was more of a rock and roll. It was super fast. It was like a Jimmy Page 2.0. You know what I mean?
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. He was a songwriter
too.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, if anybody should check out your YouTube page, because you do a pretty cool little snippet of Ain't Talking About Love on there, along with some other classic, I guess what we would call classic rock tracks. Like you did Def Leppard Animal.
Acoustic. Yeah. That's a nice version.
Yeah, it's a nice version. Yeah. Right down.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was just one of my ideas. I did that like I think in the first or second month of the pandemic. I was like, oh, what do I do now? I don't have a lot of inspiration for, but I love Def Leppard. Let's just do an acoustic version. Why not?
Yeah.
I did that.
And then, same with the Zeppelin track. Your time is gonna come.
Oh yeah,
your time is gonna come.
Yeah.
I did it with my little thing there, my little pad. So the drums that you hear is all, it's all like hip hop.
That's awesome.
I had some comments from purists. They're like, no, you can't do that, blasphemy. Like, okay, well.
Move on.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah,
what they don't realize is that a lot of rock artists over the years have used electronics in their music, but don't necessarily advertise that they're using it.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's 50 years ago, right? Yeah. 50, 40, probably 50. Already 50, even more, like 50. Yeah. Emerson,
don't make us feel that old. I mean, come on.
Yeah. But I mean, electronic doesn't mean no talent. There, you need to have a guy that plays it. You know what I mean? Like it's just the sound doesn't come from a physical, like a string that vibrates or whatever. It just comes. You need a guy to play it, even if it's a more of a loop on the computer, you need someone to write it or to create that sound that's being looped or played over and over again. So it's never like a talentless. There's always some kind of talent involved, somehow.
I agree 100%. As somebody with very, very little talent, I have messed around with machines like that and made some pretty awful tunes. So take it from me, folks. You got to know what you're doing. And I also read in a prior interview, you said that you practice every day except the day before a show.
Yeah, I sing every day, and I practice my voice, and I practice my set every single day except the day before, because you never know if I don't want to like mess up my voice or be. It's really like a muscle. The voice is really like a muscle, and I can't say that I practice singing. Singing is not my is. I'm a guitarist before. I'll say I'm a guitarist before saying I'm a singer. But singing for me is kind of like a muscle. It's kind of like training. It's like before a fight, I would train every single day, but I would not go and train the day before the fight. I need to be fresh and really like. I try to shut up and not even talk to my family and like my girlfriend's like. I don't talk to, and I can't. So
can you do the dishes?
Yeah, but I try to shut up and really treat this instrument as a muscle, because that's what it is. It's purely physical. Yeah.
Now, is that something you learned, or is that something you kind of figured out on your own?
I think I heard that Celine Dion does that. She doesn't say a word and doesn't sing the day or 2 days before. And then on the day of the show, she does a little bit of warming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I heard that. Maybe it was not exactly that way, but I do it because it works really well. It works really well. It's when I'm more powerful, I'm able to go for longer. So yeah, I can hit the higher notes.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all about the show.
Yeah, it's all about the show, and just being. I like to be able to bring to the table what I can do on a record or on an MP3. I want to be able to play it. Like, it needs to be okay. So the guy can actually play what he's putting out, the music he's putting out. I can't stand like artists that don't, that their live performance is not up to par. I don't like that. It's just like, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't like that, but you know what I mean? I want to be able to, that's the music that I write, that's the music that I record, and that's the music that I perform. It's the same quality, same level.
That's your goal. Yeah. That's your goal, and it doesn't have to be another band's goal, but that's your goal.
That's my goal. Yeah.
So once hopefully when the world gets right back to normal, are you like putting together an actual live band and going to be hitting the road, or
yeah?
Like, what's the plan?
I do have a live band, and I've played already since the pandemic. I've played three shows. So there's one that's on YouTube.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the live performance. We did a live stream.
Yes.
Okay. There's a song that's on YouTube. It was on TikTok, Instagram, and also on the platform that hosted the show. And we sold tickets through that platform as well. So that was in April. We did 2 shows up north in Quebec in a festival. So it was cool. But yeah, I have a live band, and I love them. They're awesome. They're great professional musicians. We all went to the same school. We all went to music school, not together, but at the same school.
Huh.
Me and the drummer went together, and he stayed longer than me. He did a master's degree in jazz drumming. Which
wow,
is really cool.
Ooh, wow.
So yeah, great musicians, and I'm gonna hire them to play on the album. My album. I'm currently writing an album.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, an LP.
That's where my next question was going. So
yeah. I'm currently writing an LP for 2022, and it's gonna be. I'm gonna go more prog this time, because there's more time on an LP. There's more time to put more avant-garde kind of stuff. On a 5-track EP, you got to be straight to the point. That's the melody. That's the chorus. That's that's the hook, and that's what you get. That's the solo, and that's it. On an LP, once I get, I'm gonna get more exposure with my music. No pun intended. But I'm gonna get more true fans, and more people that are gonna want to listen to my music. And on the album, it's gonna be more more time, more. It's gonna be probably a concept album.
Whoa, there we go.
Yeah.
That's pretty ambitious for like basically a debut album. That's out of the gates with a concept album.
It's actually a smart move.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Why not, man? We have a lot of time. If I don't tour, because I don't know if I will, but I probably won't, because Canada's restrictions.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet. The restrictions. Well, you guys are in Ontario.
I'm in a hot spot.
Even stricter than us in Quebec. But anyway, I probably won't tour, and if I don't, it gives me plenty of time to work on my stuff. My influences are really like it's really gonna be the old prog stuff, the Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Jethro Tull, all that good stuff. But my way, with the instruments with this little thing.
Yeah.
And my guys, and my shredding skills. So.
And a bass clarinet solo.
Maybe, yeah. And in Jethro Tull, they had the flute.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Anything goes. So that's the thing, Polychuck, I want to ask you, because like me and Mike were talking about it yesterday, that the one thing I find real catchy with Shadows Exposed as a whole is the length of the songs. They're short, sweet, to the point. So what you're saying is, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you release your LP, you're kind of going to go the opposite way, and are you going to have a mixture of both, or are you just going to go like, hey man, we're going to rock out for 10 minutes here? And
yeah, I don't think it's going to be as crazy as 10-minute songs or whatever. Same concept. Yeah, maybe. But maybe live. You never know. You can extend and just jam, and you never know. But I think I'm still gonna keep this the idea of having like catchy melodies, catchy hooks.
Yep.
somewhat poppy in a way. You know what I mean? Almost poppy, but longer. Like, obviously, more songs. They're not going to be 3-minute songs, maybe not 10 minutes either, but maybe like more in the 3-4 minute range. Maybe a longer keyboard solo, longer guitar solos, maybe 2 guitar solos. Who knows?
Real horns.
Clarinet. Yeah.
Yeah. Clarinet. Don't forget the clarinet, man.
Say hi to my buddy Ralph from the Rock Shop. Hey, Ralph, I'm wearing your shirt today. There you go.
Oh, nice.
Ralph's out of New York, so that's New York City watching you.
Nice. Cool.
So speaking of T-shirts, I noticed like everybody should hit you up on Instagram and go to the link tree. And yesterday you dropped a ton of T-shirts down. Mike,
T-shirts, masks, socks.
Yeah.
Mike, can you make the screen big for a sec?
Yeah, one moment. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, Deke? I can put it up on the screen. I can go to the website and put it up on the screen.
There you go. But anyways,
I'll get that up on the screen.
Just so you know, I'm a proud owner of the white Polychuck shirt as of this morning.
Oh, yeah, nice. Thank you. Nice.
Thanks for putting in white. I got enough black rock shirts. I need to mix up my wardrobe with some white.
Yeah. So we have socks, we have masks, we have, name it, everything. Yeah, I signed a deal with Vision Merch, which is shout out to them. They have really cool merch. And there are people over there, the designers and stuff with me. We try to make really cool stuff. So
there we go. There's some of the stuff right there.
Yeah. Thanks for the shout out.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, there we go. Look at Mikey. He's on it.
Yeah.
There's the whole page.
I'm going to get myself a mask.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you. Thanks for the shout out.
Yeah, no worries. So like that's pretty cool. You're like really hands-on with your stuff, and that's what I like. I mean, like I know me and Mikey have been messaging you, and it's just that personal contact. Like we're not going through like too much of a third party. It's just like dealing like you're hands-on with your music. Obviously, talking to a couple of yahoos like us, and, so it's like, I think for me and Mike, more fans than anything, we appreciate that just chillness that you bring across, and and it shows in your music. Like your music is legit. It's like down to street level, and
thanks, man. I appreciate it. And it's I have full control over I have full control because I'm not signed. I'm independent. I don't even have a manager. I do everything really myself.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why me and Mikey, we beat it to death every time we hook up on his stream here. Is we got to support our local boys and and whether it's music or baking or beer or whatever, local support.
Big time.
Like, support it. Like the big chains, they get the Walmarts of the world. They don't need any help. So it's the support. You guys, man. So,
we have talent in Canada, man. We have
totally do.
And some really make it to a lot make it to the top, man. Right off the bat, I can think of Drake, Bryan Adams, and Shania Twain, which I think she was from around Thunder Bay, wasn't she? Or
she's from Timmins, which
Timmins,
is a little bit,
pretty close actually. Yeah, it's about maybe 8 hours away, but
that's super close. Yeah.
Funny fact, one of my bosses dated Shania Twain back when she was her name was Eileen. That's a fact.
That's something that no one's gonna believe. Like
I know.
Awesome.
Lover Boy, there's another great Canadian band right there.
Well, you want to talk prog, let's go Rush. Like
oh yeah, exactly.
So,
James LeBrain from Dream Theater is from Toronto.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, we have a lot of talent in Canada.
We do.
Yeah, and that's why
I think April 1 from I think they're from Quebec, and I'm not sure.
I cannot remember where they're from. Deke would know.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think they're from around. I think they recorded a lot of their records at Lamorin Heights studio.
Yeah,
I think they're probably based around there. They were definitely East Coast for sure. So but anything we could do to spread the word for you, pal, we're here for you, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
When things eventually do, hopefully when things eventually do return to normal, is there any chance of you hitting up some Ontario dates?
Oh, big time. It's like the first place I'm going to.
Nice.
Probably here in Quebec, I'm probably going to do Quebec City, Montreal, the big places, maybe Trois-Rivières, and that's it, and then go directly to Ontario and the rest of Canada, because in Quebec we have a lot of outside of Montreal and outside of Quebec City, there's a lot of people want French, so they're not fans of not because I don't think I don't know if it's a political thing, but it's just not big over there. If you're from Quebec and you sing in English, they kind of don't really like it. I'm French Canadian, so I don't have a problem with that. But I don't think that's where the audience is.
Would you sing bilingual? Would you write French lyrics for your songs, or?
Maybe I will. Maybe I will, but it's a good question.
I will tell you just one thing, and Deke knows this. Gordie Johnson from Big Sugar, I believe he did one album that he did both languages, didn't he? He recorded a French and an English version, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah,
just an example.
But it's cool. Like, you need to embrace your origins, and that's but it's just I didn't want to market myself as a Quebecois artist, because you're probably not really aware of the scene of the Quebec music scene, but it's very exclusive.
Yes.
Right. So it's very exclusive. It's very their music, and which is cool, because the fan base grows rapidly, and fans are they're really engaged, but it's really strictly French, and so it's kind of hard to do both, but it's a cool thing. I respect that 100%, but it's not. I didn't want to be. I didn't want to identify as a guy from that scene, because it's kind of hard to go out of that. When you're in there, it's kind of hard to step out. People have tried to do it, and they often succeed in France, but outside of Quebec, in Canada, not so much. So I wanted to be more, and what's funny is that most of my audience is in Brazil and South America.
Really?
Well, there we go.
If I look at my stats, so my biggest country where they stream the most is Brazil. And by far so that these are my stats on Spotify are really Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, Colombia, and then Canada, United States. I think the United States comes before Canada, even United States.
Come on, people.
Wow, that's really
yeah. So Brazil, and even on Instagram, a big chunk of my following is from Brazil. They probably discovered me on Spotify playlist or whatever with the algorithm. The algorithm always sends the music where there's more traffic. So probably there, but a big chunk of my audience on Instagram is from Brazil.
That's fascinating.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting fact. I had no idea it was gonna turn out that way. Last year, I would have bet. I would have said, "Oh, Canada and the United States, the UK, Australia," but no. Brazil and Argentina come before these Canada and the United States.
Well, they do love their metal down there. I know that from Maiden has had a lot of success, and
Rock in Rio,
huge. A lot of my Facebook network, a lot of those guys, rock interviewers and journalists, are from Brazil.
The metal and rock is huge over there.
Yeah,
I had no idea. I've never been to South America in my life.
Well, perhaps you shall one day.
I think. Oh, definitely.
Let's start getting those T-shirts out down there. Come on, you Brazilians.
Yes.
Put them up.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember one time I posted on my stories, and I asked one of my followers to translate it for me in Portuguese. If I toured to Brazil, would you come to my show? And then I put a little thing where you can click yes or no, and I had thousands of people that click yes and please come to Brazil.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, one quick question is, you talked about knowing where your audience is coming from Spotify. Can you track the same thing from YouTube? Just because your videos have pulled some decent numbers.
Yes, I can, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
On
Okay.
YouTube, the biggest audience is from Brazil.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good taste, Brazil. Good taste.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brazil. Yeah,
Now, I know we.
I love Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so that's
There you go.
might be. Yeah, they're really martial arts. Brazilian. You have Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You have capoeira. You have a lot of martial arts there. So that could be a contributing factor.
Right.
The fact that I'm bigger there. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know we have to start wrapping up because you are a teacher.
Yeah.
And you're
Yes,
the student
I'm an
shortly.
online teacher. I'm a guitar coach, and I started during the pandemic. I started teaching guitar, and it has become my day gig now. I do that full time, and that allowed me to, be able to write my EP, and that's what's allowing me to now full time play music, write music, teach music. So it's a good thing. And I started in the beginning of the pandemic posting little guitar tips, and I found out that it attracted a lot of people, and I got, I gained many followers from that, and I was like, yeah, why not make some money from it? And I started offering guitar one-on-one lessons over Zoom, and man, I've taught guitarists on major bands, like guys that I would have never expected that they would reach out to me, like guys in bands that I am a huge fan of that just reached out. Dude, would you?
That's awesome.
I don't want to name any names.
No,
like,
that's fine.
I can, but like, and more than one, like, hey, dude, you're amazing. Can you? Yeah. So yeah,
That's the ultimate compliment.
Well, that's actually really cool, and it shows you that they're still trying to push what they're playing. They're not saying, "Oh, I'm good with where I'm at as a guitar player."
Yeah,
they're learning from you. You learn from them. That's actually really cool.
It's really, really cool.
So if you ever want to spill the beans, you make sure you come back to us first, okay?
Yeah, like obviously you are not slowing down. You are staying busy. So please keep in touch. We'd like to talk to you again when you have an album.
Yeah. So
or even before, if you have a tour or you want to talk prog, you just come.
Yeah.
Or you just feel like having a chat with two knuckleheads with microphones.
Yeah. So just for people out there who are watching, just give us where's the best place to get a hold of you to buy your stuff. And
the best place is really my link tree or smart URL, because you go on my Spotify, you go on my Instagram page or Facebook page or social media, whatever. There's always a link in the bio that you can click, and it gives you the links for every streaming platforms. You can, you have Amazon, iTunes, all of them. My merch store. There's a link you can click to get. Yes, that's
there. It
link.
is, folks. Click there.
Or you just go polychuck.com and it'll bring you to that page.
There you go.
And awesome. You can click. There's a link for my guitar lessons where you can book yourself. And there's a link to my merch. Everything is there. Yeah, polychuck.com. Yes.
Oh, I got the T-shirt. It was through that drop-down box. Boop.
Yeah. So,
easy peasy. If I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
I know I could figure it out. I spent half an hour unlocking my iTunes, so I can do that. That's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for joining.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure meeting you guys.
A pleasure meeting you as well. I wish you all the best. And again, folks, check out this EP. You got to stream it. You can buy it. You got to do whatever you got to do to hear it. I love it.
Shadows Exposed.
Shadows Exposed, and Beating Myself Down seems to be the track that a lot of people are responding to.
Yeah.
Great video. I will say it again. This guy's got some really cool visuals. Dar Erickson from way up in Thunder Bay says great interview.
Hey, man.
So
Dar.
have a great lesson with your student, and I hope to talk to you really soon, my friend.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Take care. Ciao.
You guys.
See ya.
Well, that was cool, Deke.
Yeah, that was perfect. I mean, he's a great guy. I mean,
yes, he is.
So loves music. I mean, these are the best. We've been so lucky with everybody we've gotten on here that had just been game with our rambling about questions.
I did not expect him to be a Kiss fan. I figured it was more modern stuff with him. So that was a surprise to me, a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, and the fact that it was cool to hear where his target audience is coming from. I mean,
Brazil,
kinda,
hello.
yeah, you don't know that stuff. That's really cool, and that's got to make him feel real good as well. I mean, he's
People are
are listening,
yeah.
and downloading, and that was cool that you brought up his T-shirt. If I would have known you could do that, I would have never even tried doing the phone thing, and then I forgot
Quite all right.
Blair and yak. But
Quite all right.
yeah, it's cool. Like, yeah, I mean, I know when people go to his site for the T-shirt, if you click it, it says I think 20 US. So then when you do the conversion, it's basically including shipping is 25 Canadian for the T-shirt.
Which is
that's nothing. At
steal,
first I
yeah.
thought, oh, is there going to be shipping going to be? No, it's free shipping. So I don't know if that's just a Canadian thing or what, but yeah, support him, man. I bought it.
Support the guy, yeah. I can't say enough good stuff about him. I'm really inspired by his music. Like he uses a lot of these electronic beats that I am unfamiliar with, but he's inspired me to go into my CD collection, and I've been getting all my Nine Inch Nails albums out and listening to this electronic music again because of Polychuck.
See, I didn't even know you listened to that stuff. So there you go. That's
I don't talk about it a lot because I haven't listened to this stuff. Look how dusty it is. You can see the dust.
Yeah.
So he got me inspired to listen to my dusty old Nine Inch Nails albums again.
Oh, that's actually that's the power of music, right? You just got a good vibe and you rolled with it. There's one thing I want to say before we go, but dang it.
Well, there is one thing I want to say before we go. I just want to touch real quick on all the really shitty rock news that we've had this week. Mike Howe from Metal Church, we found out that he passed due to suicide.
Yep.
Joey Jordison from Slipknot, I don't believe they've released a cause. Don Simmons, the original Helix keyboard player, passed away at age 64 this week from a heart attack. And Jeff LeBar, we talked about him earlier a couple of weeks ago, but and then most recently, the really painful one for a lot of us this week has been Dusty Hill from ZZ Top.
Yeah.
And ZZ Top are continuing. They're going on with Elwood Francis.
Yep.
Oh, Joey was such a massive power behind the kit. Yeah, I mean, that guy was one of the very best in metal. Period. Joey was.
Well, Dusty's vocals were like an integral part of the ZZ Top sound, just like Anthony's or Van Halen, right? Like,
but more so because he sang lead on a lot of good songs. Tush
always at the end of each side of the record. I mean, Eliminator and Afterburner, he always had those Dusty Hill songs tucked in at track 5 and track 10.
And so many of them are so memorable. I got the 6, give me your 9, But I've struggled with the idea of ZZ Top continuing, but I'm okay with it now. Elwood Francis was given the blessings by Dusty Hill. Whether they return as a studio recording entity, I don't know, but I'm willing to let it slide and just let them continue on as Dusty wanted.
Yeah.
It's weird though, because they were in sync, those two guys. Like, they moved in sync. Everything about them was in sync, and it's going to be really hard to adjust to a new guy on stage, but it is what it is.
My memory of them is when me and T-Bone caught him on the Recycler tour, like, it's going back over 30 years ago. I think it was 1990. And you talk about being in sync. Yeah, they had a conveyor belt running across the front of the stage. And so they would stand on it, and they do almost like a moonwalk together. It was so synced. It was, and the whole place was just roaring, because it was like, if you were on the floor, you were probably thinking they were actually moonwalking on stage without the help of a conveyor belt. But man, those guys, that's what I remember, those shows, just the small things like that. Like, they're not going to be that band anymore, but I know
Elwood has the look though, right? Like, he looks like he belongs in ZZ Top, although maybe a 1970s version of ZZ Top.
Well, if anything, like, at least they kind of got somebody in-house, right?
Yes.
And I think Bob would be the guy to ask, because I think he's talked about Elwood before when Billy Gibbons played his neck of the woods.
Right, because he's Billy's
and he
Billy's
came on stage and I think was playing harp or guitar or something. I can't remember what Bob was saying, but I guess if you're going to go, you might as well go in-house and keep the band rolling, because I mean, look at the Who. When Entwistle died, like 2 days later, they had a replacement for him.
Pino Palladino.
Like within a heartbeat. I mean, I hate to say it, but a lot of times, it's down to the money. It's like Billy Gibbons goes out as Billy Gibbons. He's not going to draw as much as going out as ZZ Top. Like that's fortunately the bottom line. It's the music business. So, but they did certainly have something. They were together for what, 50 years?
Over 50, I think, at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. So, got to go back and rewatch the documentary again.
Yeah.
Before I forget, Mike, and I meant to do this when we did the current interviews, that we have to thank our friends from Chipster PR.
Chipster PR.
Yeah, who've set us, they hooked us up with Andy and they hooked us up with Polychuck. So kudos to them. I brain farted the last 3 times we talked to Andy about it. But today I made a note of it on myself on my...
Chipster, Hadley, hello.
Yeah,
and
thank
you for hooking us up.
Pointing us in the direction of some fine talent. So
we'll be in touch. We'd like to interview some more.
Yeah, get us some of your peeps.
Yeah.
But that was fun, Mikey, and great show. It's neat to do a short and tidy, neat and tuck.
Well, thank you, Deke. And I always like talking to you, whether it's Friday or apparently beautiful Saturday in Thunder Bay.
Yeah, it's nice. A lot of that humidity is lifted off. So I think today it's about 27, 28 out. So it's doable. That's why I told Sue and Lexi, I said, I think I'm taking the show outside today.
Nice.
I
love it.
We even had my Ed Fender and Izzy out here, and they didn't even bark once. So what a great audience.
Good dogs.
Either that or my voice is putting them to sleep. I don't know.
That could be.
Yeah. All right,
well,
pal.
You know me. Beautiful day in Mississauga too. There you go. You know me. I like to go out on a song.
Yep.
Do you have any requests?
Buddy, it's your gig, man. You can play. I'm good with whatever.
Well, then I know which one we're going to play. We're going to play your song tonight. So thanks for watching, everyone. Check out Polychuck. One more time, we'll put up that address on the screen.
Yep.
One moment here. There we go. Polychuck.com.
Yep.
Check it out. Buy a t-shirt, buy a mask, buy some socks.
Yep.
And thank you to him for spending an hour with us today.
You got her.
And this is a little tune by T-Bone Erickson. Take care, everybody. Have a great Saturday.
Ciao.
Ciao. That was the wrong song. It's this song. I didn't want to play that last one. It's this one.
All right. Well, his blood runs cold and he doesn't feel many legends told of his balls of steel. You better listen up.
Never had a care, never worried who was there. He just looked you in the eye, and like a tiger hunting prey, now he decides, oh, if you live or if you die. Try to run, but there's no place to hide. Well, his blood runs cold and he doesn't feel many legends told of his balls of steel. Bigger than a freaking Ferris wheel. Now you've been warned, he's got balls of steel. He's a little bit insane. Don't give a shit's his middle name. When he's got you in his sights, that's when you must wisely choose your demise. Oh, do you flee or do you fight? But you won't have much time before he strikes, because his blood runs cold and he doesn't feel many legends told of his balls of steel. Bigger than a freaking Ferris wheel. Now you've been warned, he's got balls of steel. doesn't feel. Many legends told of his balls of steel. Bigger than a freaking Ferris wheel. Now you've been warned, he's got balls of steel. He's coming to collect, so you better kneel. Show your respect for his balls of steel. They play a tune like a glockenspiel. Nothing he can't do with his balls of steel. His blood runs cold and it doesn't feel. Many legends told of his balls of steel. Bigger than a freaking Ferris wheel. Now you've been warned, he's got balls of steel.